Welcome to the Flying S Podcast, bringing City Hall to your headphones. Your go-to source for community news, events, and stories straight from your local Sidney government. I'm Brittany King.
And I'm Andrew Bowsher. And every other Friday, we'll bring you what's happening in our hometown and local government. Fast, factual, and focused.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Flying S Podcast. I am here with City Manager Andrew Bowsher. We thought we would bring you a special episode in light of his recent resignation announcement. Welcome, Trader.
Indeed. It's fair, yeah. Definitely a very somber time right now, for sure. Gosh, that hurts every single time you say it. No,
I'm just kidding.
I know, but it was very difficult decision. As I've told some staff members, the single hardest decision that I've had. I love this community. I love the employees, both past, present, and I'm sure here in the future as well. I was very blessed when I came on in 2021 to have such an amazing staff. The key directors, as well as just up and down and all roles, continue to do an amazing job for our community. And I can't thank them enough. And really that weighed on me a lot. At the end of the day, this decision was based pretty much solely on proximity to my family. As many of you know, I grew up in the Central Ohio area. Small area, Pickaway County, and kind of grew up in the Grove City region. Started a career outside of the military there, and my kids are still there. And for me, that's been really vitally important. And I think that despite best efforts, that was always something that we could not resolve while living here in Sidney. And then I think with the start of our business, so many things got expedited, and the kids are in an age and, sort of a key point where I really felt like I needed to be closer. And our structure, right? My family community outside of this community all live in Central Ohio, and that includes my wife Taylor's family as well. And so for us, it was important. There was an opportunity that came up, and there was a lot of tough decisions and questions and conversations, both internally and externally. And really, until a true decision was made, we really didn't want to put it out there because it was a family decision, and we wanted to make sure that we were headed in the right direction. And I do think that we are, but we're really going to miss Sidney, really miss Sidney.
Well, and I think that's one thing that a lot of the employees respect about you is you brought this culture to all of the employees where family does still come first. Yes, we have a job to do and that we are all public servants, but that work-life balance was really important to you. And I think now we need to give that back to you to say, hey, we understand family comes first.
Thank you for that. And you're right. I mean, it was very important when I came on, and you could clearly tell that the organization needed a culture shift and change. And there are always things that we're still trying to do to fix that, right? There are strategies and programs and policies that I want to continue to see implemented past me. And I think it's vitally important that we give a work-life balance culture back to our employees. And that is vitally important, for their success. And more important now than ever, I think people understand the idea and concept of, yes, I've got a job, and yes, I've got a career. That helps me live my life for the things that are important. My life doesn't necessarily need to revolve around the work, right?
Right.
So which one's leading the ship there?
Are you working to live or living to work?
Right. Exactly. And so that helped, I think in some of that decision making as well. It's like all of a sudden now I've got to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself the same thing that I've been telling our employees.
Right. And I know a lot of this came as a shock. Like none of us saw this coming, which, is sad, but me specifically, very proud of you and the things that you've accomplished here in the city in the last 4 years. So why don't you give us a brief overview of the accomplishments that we've had in the last 4 years and the trajectory moving forward?
Yeah, I think Sidney is on a path that maybe it's never been on before. And I humbly say that. And that's not because of just me. I think, I may have built a culture around of us wanting to thrive and grow, but the real stars are the community leaders, the civic-minded folks, all of our employees that are doing it every single day, the grind. They're putting up with angry residents. They're making things happen, having tough conversations, going into meetings and trying to lure development and creating jobs within our community. And I'm just one piece of that. And at times I get to be the face, both good and bad. But really, they're the unsung heroes. And I was very excited to be the 14th city manager for the city of Sidney. I was very blessed when then and still Mayor Mike Barhorst and City Council appointed me to that position. And I think since then, some of the accomplishments are we've got over $9.5 billion with a B in economic development that's either already done, under construction, or within the pipeline. And some of that, I'm still going to be around when we make some of these announcements. So stay tuned to that because it's going to be a really exciting summer, I think, for Sidney.
Yeah, for sure.
We were elevated to a top 3 micropolitan last year. First time we've ever been in the top 5 as a community. And that's not just for the state. That's the entire country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess I thought that was just for Ohio. I didn't realize it was for the entire country.
Yeah, and that is for basically any community that's about less than 50,000. So anywhere where you've got a hub of jobs and people that are living, that's considered not like a metropolitan, like a Columbus would be, but a micropolitan. And that's what Sidney is. And that means we were number 3 in the nation.
Wow, that's great.
It is. And, that is something that, we've been on for a while. And that's because all of the past leadership prior to me and all of the decisions made around building manufacturing, whether that was because of the canals and the railroads that came through and I-75 and all these things, because Sidney is and will always have amazing bones to continue to build off of. I was just fortunate enough to get the keys to the car. Our housing growth, we have 1,500 new homes in production right now within the city. We have never seen this much growth ever in this community. We're going to announce some here later this year. And a lot of that is based on because we have so many commuters coming into the community. I know we've touched on it on different podcasts that we've had. And if anybody's listening to a presentation that I've given, 12,600 people come into our city. And we wanted to have more of those individuals living within our community because if they're working here, we want them to stay here and raise their families here. Downtown infrastructure and revitalization. I know we're going to have Dan Gutman on. We were awarded the best placemaking project in Ohio in 2023. Huge shout out to Sidney Alive and all of the work that was done for the city focus group and other community individuals. Major street, trail, and corridor upgrades throughout the community to include Campbell Road, Hoesher, and Spruce. The redevelopment of the Ohio building, which I know we'll talk about with Sidney Alive.
Which is an increase of more housing and, having that first floor with more businesses going into it. It's a fantastic project.
That was $14 million by itself within the downtown, just in the last 5 years alone. And some of this even predates me. Over $65 million in planned investment within the downtown alone within our community. I mean, it's incredible. We finalized designs and secured funding for our City Hall reconstruction, a brand new Fire Station 2 that was always inevitable. The design far out exceeded its capacity, and we needed to house new apparatus within the industrial heartland within our community, and that's completely separate than Fire Station 3. enhanced public safety operations. We've added new officers. We've added new public safety telecommuters or dispatchers. We're getting a new TRT or SWAT vehicle that comes into the community. Strategic planning. We completed a parks master plan, a downtown strategy plan, an update to our comprehensive master plan. We launched transparent multi-year capital improvement plan, over $65 million and another 12.5 with grants. 25% of the entire budget within our community is based solely off of grants. And that is a testament to the hard work of our individuals and our consultants coming in and fighting for dollars from state and federal funds to make sure that it stays and is brought back to Sidney, Ohio. Very important.
Well, because if we don't spend it if we don't get it to spend in Sidney, Ohio, it will go to another community.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a lot of reasons, a lot of people, they hate federal earmarks and things like that. Well, until the legislature changes how they operate, Sidney still needs to fight for its slice of the pie. And I think we have done a better job than we ever have of making sure that we're bringing dollars into this community that we feel is rightfully ours. And so for us, it's been vitally important, and especially to get a lot of these specialized projects that may have fell to the wayside if we didn't have those dollars.
Right.
We'd established a citywide CRA, which is a community reinvestment area, which helps spur economic development throughout the entire community. We've expanded our trail networks. We've upgraded our permitting system. Now you can file online. You don't have to come see us. Yeah, it's so nice. We have brought the city into the 21st century. That is a huge change, right? Because change is tough for anybody. But when you start talking about utilizing technology to start replacing archaic systems, well, that's a shift and a change not only for our staff that has to learn this new process and build it out, right? We have to build it for Sidney specific, but now it's a change in culture change for our residents as well, like online bill pay, being able to file your taxes online, things like that. We're still offering the other things, but we're slowly moving towards the ultimate goal of making it safer, better, and we're providing a service to where you don't necessarily have to drive downtown, be able to see us and things like that. You still can, and we encourage you to. We love seeing everyone's smiling faces.
Come see us in the pods.
Yes, in the pods, but definitely those as well. And there's so many, and again, I can't thank staff enough for their time and attention to this. The city is in a really good way. We've got a great reserve balance. We're headed in the right direction. We've continued to do more in this community than other communities have with more money, and that says a lot about the passion and commitment of our employees than it does about anything else.
Definitely. Well, we wanted to keep this pretty short, so we don't want to get into other things that we're going to be talking about in future episodes, but we did want to just kind of bring Andrew in to explain, where he's coming from with his resignation, and he will be full-time through September 1st, and then on a part-time basis through the end of the year for that transition period once council figures out the next step.
Yeah, they're going to bring on the same consultant that they brought in to find me. They changed names over the course of the last 4 years, but basically led by Greg Horn, who used to be a city manager himself. Actually, it's all focused around individuals that have been public service. So we're really excited. Greg is the one that found me out of the Central Ohio area. And I have zero regrets outside of I wish, my tenure here could have been longer. And I know council and many of our staff wanted that to happen, and I do think things happen for a reason. I'm happy about where we're at, but I am very somber and very sad. And I'll leave you on this. Sidney will always be in our hearts. My wife Taylor and I mean, we even got married on the court square, right on the courthouse steps. We had a beautiful wedding, and so we have photos and memories that will last us a lifetime, and we have certainly made relationships and friendships with so many people, including the person sitting across from me right now. that I will always think back on fondly. And obviously, I'm just a phone call away. So if you have my cell phone, please reach out to me. I'm not dead. I'm not going, anywhere too far. I will be around, and I will be here in Ohio. And who knows? You guys may see me again, maybe in a different capacity. And I don't want to make an announcement on a podcast, but maybe Ohio is looking for a governor of the future that is driven based on its people and trying to do right by our small town communities within this state.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you do with your future ventures.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can speak for most of the community and most of the employees that we appreciate everything that you have done for us in the last 4 years. And you have set us up for success for the next city manager administration to come in. And, I think that we all can give you a big thank you for that. And a round of applause. Yeah. I think I heard some boos in there too.
I mean, you're not here in public service without getting a few boos. I mean, you get it few and far between, but they're definitely there. So.
Well, that's all that we have for this short episode. We just kind of wanted to touch base with all of you.
I will still be here, Sidney, and I love y'all, and thank you so much for the great memories and great years. And I'm super excited for your guys' future. I will definitely be watching from afar. There are so many things that are about to unfold over the next couple of years, and you are in such a good spot.
All right. Well, until next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.